My name is Finn Donnelly. I'm the Member of Parliament for Port Moody Coquitlam and Morin Belcarra. And we're here today to remember our veterans. I'm bringing greetings on behalf of Parliament of Canada. And we're at Veterans Week, and we're remembering those that served. So the 1.5 million Canadians who have served in conflicts over our history. And certainly we're remembering the 118,000 Canadians who paid the ultimate sacrifice. So one way you can learn about those conflicts, whether it was the two world wars, the Korean War, Afghanistan, what's going on in the Middle East, what our military, whether it's Air Force, the military, the Navy, are doing these days. We can find out and learn about some of the history in the past at this display at the Port Moody City Hall. Right now there's a display during Veterans Week, so if you get a chance, drop in. Guy Black, who's a tremendous advocate for our veterans and the history of veterans and what they've done and contributed not just to Port Moody and to our community, but to our country, has been responsible for putting this display together, interviewing many veterans and hearing their stories. So I really encourage you to come down, check it out. It's a very interesting way to learn about the stories of our vets, and it's certainly something that every Canadian should learn about. We put out a piece just recently, Lest We Forget, about our veterans and how they have contributed to our community. So it's certainly something we can do our part by learning, not only just wearing the poppy, but also learning a little bit about the veterans and their tremendous contribution to our community. It's why we have a peaceful community today and why we enjoy what we enjoy in Canada. So lest we forget, thank you.
When I think of all the souls who paid for freedom with their lives, or I feel the inspiration from the cold blue prairie sky, when I'm standing by the ocean wondering where our future lies, I know I care, and our future's there. In every rock, on every hillside, every river wild and free, every raindrop on the faces of the children we won't see, in the freedom they will taste, in every brook or mountain stream, like the maples of the valley, growing true north, strong and free.
Well, I'm a veteran of the Second World War. I spent 3 years in the Navy on 2 different warships, and all of my service was on convoy duty in the North Atlantic. And the first ship was HMCS Hepatica, which was a corvette, had about 45 personnel, and I was on that for about 19 months, and then I went on to the Penetang, which was a brand new frigate named after Penetanguishene, Ontario. My part of it was 3 years. I went in joined the Navy in Calgary in 1942, right after I finished high school, and quick orientation in Calgary. Then I went on to St. Hyacinthe, Quebec, because there was a communication school at St. Hyacinthe, and at that time there was 3 divisions, 3 communication divisions in the Navy. One was the signalman, who operated on the bridge and communicated with the light, and there was the radio operator, and all the messages came out in code, and so they were handed to what we called the coder, and in effect we were decoding messages into plain language and write them out and then send them up to the authorities on the ship. This was our crew. This was me here, and there was 3 coders, 3 signalmen, 3 wireless operators, and the officer, and this was the whole ship crew, and it was a larger crew, as you can see. But this was me way up here, and this is me. These are all the letters that I got from my father I had kept, and this is obviously enlargements of the letters that I had. Guy, and I'm very, very appreciative of what you have done and put this together, and I've just enjoyed it and been able to expound on my military thing, and and this was a good, shall we say, hobby after I retired from work. So it was just a matter of keeping busy, and that I have been, and still do.
I joined up in December 1941. I was 17. According to them, I was 18, of course. Anyway, I trained in Verdun basic training for 3 months, and then moved on to Red Deer, Alberta. I was in the Canadian Scottish, but I found out that marching wasn't for me, so I decided to get a transfer into the Army Service Corps. We had some training in England, not too much, but one morning they said, "Is there anyone here want to ride a motorcycle?" I said, "For me." So I joined the motorcycles. We finally got over there. We were behind D-Day, of course. We had too many vehicles. Anyway, we landed on Juno Beach, and nighttime, of course, and a nice time, and everybody can't see nothing. We had to hang around the beach for quite some time, 2 or 3 weeks, because we couldn't haul anything forward because there wasn't any room. They weren't even up to the city of Caen yet, eh? And every time the front moved 20 or 30 miles, we had to move an ammunition dump or a ration dump. We had to move all the stuff up as they went, eh? And this went on and on, up through Belgium, Holland. We went into Holland in April '45 and helped to liberate them all. I came home on what you call a point system, from considering when you joined, eh? You got so many points. So I didn't have enough to come home right after the war. So I didn't get out of Belgium until October, which in the meantime, we worked for the Dutch government, hauling coal and coke for burning, potatoes, everything there was going. And we did that until we came home. I often make the remark about D-Day. There was 20,000 landed, and it's amazing that the first day there was only just a little over 300 killed on the beach. It's hard for me to believe, Anyway, if you wanted to see barbed wire and cement and whatever the Germans made to stop us, that's where you had to go and see it. These pictures here are, my wife started Army reunions 25 years after the war, and the first meeting we had with just the guys that I was in my unit, for the first time after 25 years, we got 66 guys and their wives to the reunion. And she kept having these reunions every 2 years. All told, I think she organized 11 all through her time. And it was amazing because after all that many years, we finally the most we ever got was 87 from the same guys that I was with overseas. Yeah.
First time I deployed was in 2002. I had 3 deployments and they were all kind of different experiences. So the first one in 2002 was to post-war Yugoslavia. And so as a combat engineer, our job is to assist the friendly forces to live, move, and fight, and deny the same capabilities to the opposing forces. So kind of like a jack of all trades in some ways. So our tasks were pretty varied. We did a lot of landmine removal, having said that, when I was in Yugoslavia, as well as a few humanitarian type tasks, we built a few schools in the northern part of the country. I moved to Port Moody from Chilliwack in 2013, and actually moving into the area, one of the first places I went was the Rail Museum, and that was where I learned a lot about the Royal Engineer history here and Colonel Moody. Actually, still my coffee table book is Tracks Through Time, and I like to look through that once in a while, especially to see what I guess my military ancestors were doing at the time here. And I've really enjoyed living here. I mean, I kind of moved from one military community. This isn't perhaps the same way in that there's not a large base around here. But at the same time, it was really nice to connect to the history of the area that way for me when I moved here. I don't even know what to say about being on a wall with, these two other gentlemen here. I mean, yeah, it's lovely display that you've put together here, and humbled to be a part of it.
Hi, I'm Linda Reamer. I'm the MLA for Anmore, Belcara, Port Moody, and Coquitlam. I'm urging you to please come out and remember our war veterans, those who continue to serve, and those who gave all. They fought so valiantly for our freedom and our democracy, and it's something that we must never ever lose sight of. We must continue to remember them. Please, on Remembrance Day, come out and honor our war veterans and those who have served. Thank you.